They said it was impossible. They said,
you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that?
Despite all that, today we can proudly announce. Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast.
People probably already tuned out.
I don't know. Maybe they start beating off because of how I like the song is.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Anyways, welcome everyone. My name's Josh. I'm here today with good buddy Adam.
That's a true story.
And welcome to Panel to Panel. Today we're going to be talking about V For Vendetta, episode number 8.
Indeed.
Or issue number 8, I guess, technically.
I have an issue with this issue.
We will get to that issue about this issue. But first, in case you were wondering where else you could hear all of the wonderful musings of the gentleman of Game Rage Magazine, you can go to YouTube. YouTube, Game Rage Magazine on there. Check it out. Everybody's been going there. Last month was the highest month on YouTube we've ever had.
Your grandma, your fucking dog.
Fuck anyone with an internet connection and a device that has a unique identifier.
The termites that are in your fucking wood.
Oh yeah, they've been coming.
The frame of your house.
Yeah.
I heard they dug it. They were into it. They were into it.
I actually just before we finish the plug, quick interesting fact. I heard that if you are a termite and you listen to Game Rage Magazine while you work, that your efficiency is tripled. You will pull more wood out of more houses than you've ever done before in your life. And that is a guaranteed fact. So if you're a termite and you're listening to this, you're welcome. You should give us some fucking props, whatever your queen. I don't know, how does it work in termite world? Do they have a queen?
Yeah, it's a mate. I think it's like a mate. I don't. Yeah, I think it's a matriarch. I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's like ants. Yeah. Oh man, dude, the termite people are gonna come on and be like, "You guys are fucking racist. They're not all the same." They're gonna lose their minds.
They're like, "Oh no, they hijacked their queen," like in that episode of that issue of Darth Vader when they go back to Geonosis and they wiped out that queen and stole her fucking hatchlings of like hybrid battle droids and
exactly.
Yeah, maybe we need to start our own army of termites so we can start an infestation in other people's homes.
Yeah, I just want to know which species of insect is superior, ants or termites? I'd be curious to know.
Ants are like the most resilient, right? Because
yeah, well, I mean, termites can only eat wood, so ants eat fucking anything.
Yeah, I was watching like this small documentary about ants and how they're buoyant. Like they, when their whole colony is displaced, and if they're in water, if they have to cross a body of water, that they'll bunch up together and they'll just basically float, and the queen will be on top, and then the others will swim around and like start. So they'll kind of create like a chain system to get across to where they need to get, so they can start their new formation, a new colony. Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you want to listen to us on other things, you can go to Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you like hearing things, if you're an insect and you like anime, if you're a Japanese insect or you're a weeb sect, then you could go listen to the Anime Syndicate podcast, and you can follow our good buddy Frank on Instagram at anime_syndicate_podcast.
If you like being indoctrinated, Game Rage for Thrills.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're an ant or if you're an insect, you love getting indoctrinated. It's like your favorite fucking thing to do. So get indoctrinated by us. Also, if you like music, you can go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram.
And we got breaking news on that episode.
Oh yeah, we do. The latest episode, breaking fucking news.
Yes, and also
breaking fucking news.
Small statistic, but one that matters.
Uh-huh.
I heard if you listen to Game Rage Magazine, you're 25% less likely to get dementia. especially with how consistently Josh says YouTube.
That's true.
You guys seem to be remembering to hit that fucking subscribe button.
Yeah. You know, if only Biden would have listened to Game Rage magazine, he wouldn't be in the predicament that he's in today. Well, anyways, V For Vendetta. Suggested for mature readers. I just noticed that that's on there. I mean, there is a lot of naked bitches in this fucking episode or this issue for some reason. I don't know.
I gotta ask my parents if I could read this first.
So we got this cover with the carousel horses and V and Evie standing over what appear to be dominoes starting to fall.
Yep.
And that is a definite theme in this episode for sure, or this issue. So we start off with a couple of the dickhead detective guys or whatever. They're just having some conversation about the search for V or whatever. The how's the investigation going? Blah, blah, blah. They're having this cordial conversation. And we get in. They're basically saying, man, we ain't heard shit. Man, we ain't found shit.
Yeah, one of the characters is, I forget the gentleman's name that's working with Mr. Finch in the investigative portion of the government. But he's like, where the fuck is Mr. Finch? They're like, I don't know.
He fucked off.
Yeah, he fucked off, and there was drugs that we confiscated from somebody, or that we were supposed to reclaim, and they're gone. And so was he, coincidentally. And then we open with book 3. So usually, I don't even know how many books are in each act, but this book largely has been something like a play where there's 3 acts, and we're now in the latter portion of it. So within Act 3, this is book 3, The Land of Do As You Please, the prologue. And this is the infamous scene that we see within the movie.
Yeah.
That is obviously sourced from the comic book, but the overture, the 1812 overture, we're getting to that point where V might be doing some shit.
Oh yeah, he be doing some shit. And they show him with the, with the what's that fucking thing called? The music stand. And he looks like he's getting ready. He's gonna fucking do some fucking conducting.
And then the ear, of course, is in the distance.
Yeah.
You see it just slightly left of the stand with the notes and everything.
And so we get to the fate, and we have the dear leader or whatever, beloved leader,
Adam Susan,
and he's talking about fate, the computer, and he said that there's no question that can be formulated that you cannot answer. Tell me then, am I loved? Not feared, not respected, loved. You said I love you, damn it, I saw it! Like, you said it, like, he's like, could have been a fluke. He's like, just fuck, man, give me a sign. This guy is starting to lose his fucking mind. And then we see V with his conductor stick, and he starts pointing at the ear, and then shit fucking blows up. And the dudes that were just talking, they're like, oh, good God Almighty, they killed him. Everything's on fire.
Oh, God.
Everything, the air is on fire. What's going on? It's a bomb. And they're like, oh, man. Oh, dude, Mr. Etheridge worked late. He's like, oh, did he get hurt? Yeah, he's dead. Oh, God, I'm going to be... And then they finally throws up and fucking... they got the eye, the ear crippled. He's like, we got to call. He's like, we got to call the leader right now. He's like, we got to do this. He's like... We got to put out a statement or whatever. And the wife is like, well, what are they going to say? Like a scheduled demolition? Nobody's going to believe that.
He's like, we already had 3 of those.
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't they believe it though? We've already had 3 of them. And then fucking V continuing and things just fucking exploding and blowing up. Fucking great. And then, it's just and then the secretary, Mr. Creedy on screen 2, Mr. Hare on screen 4, leader. Can it wait? And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, no. Put Creedy on, have Hare hold for a minute. And then it shows him and he's like, everything's on fire in the background. He's like, you guys, I need an adult. And they're like, he blew it up in the post office, and he blew the eye and the ear. We're out of action. He's like, fuck, man, I don't know what to do. We got to get mobile transmitter. Like, we got all this shit going on. And then he's like, blind and deaf and unable to speak. Get the mobile transmitters on the streets. We have no panic. Even if we can't immediately broadcast, we need to reassure the people. And then he's like, that's just it. Like, we can't broadcast. And he's like, but somebody else already is. And then we hear, good evening, London. This is the voice of fate. And it's obviously V talking. And he puts down the little fucking conductor stick. And then you just hear, almost 400 years ago tonight, a great citizen made a most significant contribution to our common culture. It was a contribution forged in stealth and silence and secrecy, although it is best remembered in noise and bright light. To commemorate this most glorious of evenings, Her Majesty's government is pleased to return the rights of secrecy and privacy to you, its loyal subjects. For 3 days, your movements will not be watched, your conversations will not be listened to, and do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. God bless you, and good night. And then he fucking takes his bow, and then that's the end of the prologue. And now it's November 6th, 1998, the next day. And goddamn. Fucking the sign, monitor sabotaged, stay home. Like just stay at home because the monitors are not there. And so there's this girl, and she's like staring at one of the cameras, and she's just like thinking, and she's like, bollocks. Like, it's what is that in terms of like a cuss word? Is it like fuck?
I think it's testicles.
Because they say fuck, right?
Bollocks are like the testicles of a bull, I think.
Bollocks. I gotta look that up real quick.
Or like, what does it mean to
like, what does it mean?
Like, what's the equivalent?
Yeah, bollocks.
Bullshit? I don't know. It's like bullshit, maybe?
Is a vulgar word that has multiple meanings, okay? It can mean testicle. It can mean
that's bollocks.
Rubbish or nonsense.
That's bollocks.
It's just used as a general expletive.
So, I mean, her saying it is just like, fuck.
So there's like...
They can't say fuck, so it's like, all right, we'll get away with bollocks.
Yeah, and so, but this is like, what do you mean they can't say fuck? Like...
In the comic book for like...
Why they showed naked tits everywhere? Like, why couldn't they say fuck?
I don't know. Did they actually say fuck in this series?
I think they have. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they haven't.
I don't know. Maybe because she's a,
That's a British thing, probably.
Maybe it's a juvenile thing. Like
really, she should have been like cunt. Like that. That would have been believable.
That would have been V For Vendetta Australia edition.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe she just said that specifically because that's maybe the worst word she knows because it's the government of, the Norse Fire government. So it's like, oh, this is the best I can muster up. Yeah, I don't actually know the word cunt.
And then she says bollocks and like looks around and like no one does anything. So she's like,
tit fucker.
Tit fucker. Bollocks again. And then she's like, and then she's like, bollocks, Mr. Susan, bollocks, fate, bollocks, our dad, bollocks, Miss Platt at the school, bollocks. And she's she's tagging it on the wall. And then, and then she literally is just spray painting shit. Like she literally becomes a tagger like immediately, and she starts spray painting shit, and
immediately starts doing hood rat shit.
Yep.
The instance that she gets the opportunity to do so.
As soon as the government's not watching, she's immediately like, "Oh, good, I'm gonna start being bad."
Something of a moron too, because she spelled bullocks wrong.
Yeah, BOLUCS, like idiot. And so then we get chapter 1. Vox Populi, and we go back to the leader, and basically they're just saying, "Hey, like, we need to do something about this. We should probably put some reinforcements out in the streets, just to make sure everything's maintained." And basically, they want to give Mr. Etheridge his like funeral or whatever, and some of the officers have requested their like a funeral leave, and he's like, nah. He's like, I don't want to do it, but it is what it is. Like, we need all the guys we can get. And then they're saying, hey, Mr. Finch, he's been acting weird. He's just been gone, hasn't said shit. You know, maybe the job of directing the nose is a bit, you know, maybe for a younger man. And then the leader just sits there and goes, I love you. Like,
yeah.
Autistically and strangely.
And also, I think this is Mr. Creedy, who is also working with Mr. Finch, the detective or whatever. So he's trying to gather more forces to enforce the will of the government, because now shit's starting to come undone rather quickly, considering that they just blew up a fucking V blew up a goddamn building. But anyways, you were saying
well, multiple buildings. So he basically just says, "Oh, did you say something?" And he's like, "No, I didn't say shit." Also, send the flowers, cancel all police leave, and double the patrols on the streets. Oh, yeah, and looters are to be shot immediately.
Game rage prevails.
Game rage prevails, yes. Anger prevails. And it shows this little fucking picture of the dudes marching on the street, right, with the rifles, and they're just, like, patrolling or whatever. Dudes are standing outside a grocery store. They're just standing there waiting. And then as soon as they pass, the store's just fucking completely destroyed. Which is just like, you know, exactly what happens when this type of crackdown takes place. People just, as soon as the patrol leaves, oh, well, they're just going to fucking do the hood rat shit, and then you're going to miss it anyways. But on the other side panels, we're getting, what's her name? The other guy that died. That's his wife, right?
Almond's wife?
Yeah. She's like, I'd like to buy a gun. And this is where we meet this guy, Allie.
Allie was the one that killed Gordon, Evie's short-time lover that ended up dying, providing a weapon. So she's trying to get a weapon because things are starting to get a little bit more of a ruckus, or it's turning into a ruckus, a little bit more chaotic. And he's like, I don't know. I mean, fuck. Well, if there's a time to do it, it's probably now, because there's no surveillance. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do something about it.
Right. And so this issue, you said you had an issue, and it was because of this asshole, right? With this Scottish.
Yes,
whatever.
this dickhead, dude. It's like, okay, I'm not denying the genius of Alan Moore, but fuck my life, dude. When it comes to comprehensible English, coherent English,
Scottish is not.
This fucking character
This
is
guy
just.
is not one of them.
I'm like, I literally had to sound it out, because I have no idea what he's saying. I was reading this, I'm like, oi, governor, like,
what you want, a man about a place, we girl is a girl. I literally had to read it like 3 times, and I'm like, what is this guy fucking trying to say?
Dude, I think Alan Moore actually created Boomhauer.
Shit, you might be right.
In V For Vendetta.
Dude, this is Scottish Boomhauer.
Yeah. Man, dang, V For Vendetta.
Goddamn, one by gun on V For Vendetta, goddamn it. Oh, shit. Dude, that would be a funny ass shirt, fucking Boomhauer dressed up like V For Vendetta. Like,
man, dang on Parliament, get my goddamn some bitch and gonna put napalm all over the goddamn building.
Goddamn dynamite everywhere. Yeah, boom! PTSD.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
Anyways, so they go on and on about her trying to buy this gun. So she gives him half, and she's like, all right, I'll see you later. And then she walks out, and then she's like walking, and she puts the gun to her, like the finger guns to her throat, and just says bang, like, oh, she's gonna kill herself? Is that what she's gonna do?
I have no idea what's kind of going on here. I think, so this is a
flashback.
This isn't her herself, right? Because
no, I don't think so.
There's like this situation where people are starting to loot and riot, and some woman gets captured, and I don't know what the fuck happens.
Yeah, they're just like, you know, they just shoot her or whatever because she's a looter. And V starts going on about how it's it's not easy to rely. It's not a good idea to rely on the silent majorities, because silence is so fragile, and just one loud noise fucking ruins it. And he's talking about how he says, but people are so cowed and disorganized. A few might take the opportunity to protest, but it'll just be a voice crying in the wilderness. Noise is relative to the silence preceding it. The more absolute the hush, the more shocking the thunderclap. Our masters have not heard the people's voice for generations, Evie, and it is much, much louder than they care to remember. And then we get to it's November the 6th, still the next day, and we got all these like
police transmissions.
yeah, it's like the police radio or whatever, like their communications, and they're just saying about like, oh god, we got all this shit going on over here. Oh, the goddamn boomhauer, riots, god damn it.
You know what's interesting is they really don't. They just kind of glossed over the Guy Fawkes portion.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's I mean, because it's kind of briefly mentioned about bringing light. That whole little speech that was supposedly fate. They more or less just washed over the importance of Guy Fawkes, and V kind of leaves it up for people to figure out who that is.
Yeah.
But this isn't something that's spelled out that like Guy Fawkes is his inspiration or anything like that. Which is, I think, something where maybe the movie drives home a little bit better. But then again, like, I think this comic book is trying not to be insulting to the reader that they would know history and so
right.
I don't know.
It's assuming you already know this, or you should at least. But this little exchange right here is really cool. I want to read it like verbatim, right? Because this is a fucking great little set of lines right here. So Evie asks V, she says, all this riot and uproar, V, is this anarchy? Is this the land of do as you please? And he says, no. This is only the land of take what you want. Anarchy means without leaders, not without order. With anarchy comes an age of Ordnung, of true order, which is to say voluntary order. This age of Ordnung will begin when the mad and incoherent cycle of Verwirrung that these bulletins reveal has run its course. This is not anarchy, Evie. This is chaos. And we get chapter 2, Verwirrung, which I forgot to look that up, but I'm assuming it just means fucking chaos or some shit in German. And that was very fucking interesting, the way he was saying that about how he's not like this thing that you're seeing. People think that this is what the anarchy. They think this is anarchy, but like no, he's right. Anarchy is it just means there's no leadership or there's no one in charge. It doesn't mean that there's no order. Because you can still have order with no one running the show.
Yeah,
it's not likely, but I mean you can still have it. So
it's like Africa with all the warlords and stuff.
Yeah,
they're one step removed for where they would want to be. Well,
right.
At least in V's vision, it's no warlords and everybody just governs themselves.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Voluntary order or whatever. So anyways, basically we go back to the old leader, and he's sitting there like watching the fucking or he's listening to, I don't know, he's just looking at the shit on the what is that
fate
thing? The fate
machine.
screen, yeah.
It's just a bunch of shit happening.
And so he says he's saying all this weird shit, and then he just goes, oh fate, oh my love, like is he jerking off? Like
He's
that's
he's
what I
a
thought he was
coomer,
doing.
dude. He's a coomer.
Yeah, and then the guards literally look at each other, and then they look back, and then they just go, oh fuck, let's look straight ahead. Just pretend like we didn't just see this dude jerking off on the machine.
Yeah, because he's getting off on all the mayhem and shit. And and then the best part is just as we get to the next page, like the very last panel, it says mere anarchy is loosened upon the world, like implying that he, got his.
Yep.
He
just blew his load. Yeah. And then V goes on to talk about involuntary order breeds dissatisfaction, mother of disorder, parent of the guillotine. Man,
guillotine,
ultra guillotine
2024.
For all political office 2024. That's what Game Rage magazine says. Anyways, authoritarian societies are like formations skating, intricate, mechanically precise, and above all precarious. Beneath civilization's fragile crust, cold chaos churns. And there are places where the ice is treacherously thin. Man, that's such a great fucking I love the alliteration. I love the fucking just the imagery of the fucking shit that he's saying, man.
The metaphors, everything.
Yeah, and then we go back to Almond's wife, and
you're under arrest.
And then,
only kidding.
I'm only kidding. And then she's like, "Oh, look, I got the money. Just give me the thing, Jesus Christ." And he's like, "Oh, this'll defend you right enough." This'll defend somebody's innards into the gutter.
Into the gutter.
Man, goddamn. And
I'd advise you to get home quick if you're searched. Ain't never seen you in my life.
That's how muddled his English. That's how I imagine it.
And so then we go to he walks back inside and he's met by Mr. Creedy, the guy
Mr. Finch's like
his number 2, I guess, or
sordid partner.
Yeah. And so then he's basically they have a fucking nonsense conversation, but basically the gist of it is that he's looking for some extra fucking help and he's looking to give him a job, and he's like, "You go around and you find me a bunch of fucking dudes that are willing to fucking fuck shit up for me, and I'll give you the little finder's fee or whatever." He's like, I'll pay you, you'll get the commission on this and blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the side of law and order. So just as quickly as he was a criminal, he's quickly turned into being essentially on the good guy side when they need shit.
Yeah, for being a criminal lord or whatever the fuck he is. Well, just a criminal in general to be so quickly asked of to be part of law enforcement. Well, that just flips law enforcement to a bunch of delinquents, and
I mean they kind of just are anyways.
Yeah, they are anyways.
They're no better
now it's like the worst of the worst.
Oh yeah. And dude, this stuff that he says right here, that V says in these next couple of lines, is fucking so. This is kind of like what we're seeing with the shit in Israel right now, right here. Which, if you want to listen to us talk about that, go listen to the Central Intelligence podcast. But he says, authority, when first detecting chaos at its heels, will entertain the vilest schemes to save its orderly facade. Goddamn. But always, order without justice, without love or liberty, which cannot long postpone their world's descent to pandemonium. Authority allows 2 roles, the torturer and the tortured, twists people into joyless mannequins that fear and hate, while culture plunges into the abyss. Authority deforms the rearing of their children, makes a cockfight of their love. And this fucking... Who the fuck was this lady?
I think it was that woman, if I'm not mistaken, that Mr. Almond coveted.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Conrad.
Because she makes it sound like she's like running the whole goddamn show of this facade of everything, of the government.
Well, she's been manipulating this guy. I think Conrad was part of the ear. He was that weird pervert that was like spying on people having sex.
Yeah. Man,
But he, who did he want? He wanted Almond's wife, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And he had sex with her, but I think his wife is using sex as a tool to manipulate him because he can't get any.
Yeah.
He's like, well, fuck. The only way you're gonna get something is if you basically become the leader of the Norse Fire government. And that's the deal they have arranged. He gets to do all these things. He gets to touch her boobs and just do weird shit. But he's like, I ain't fucking you until you become the leader of the goddamn government.
Basically.
So.
And so then V goes on to talk about authority's collapse sends cracks through bedroom, boardroom, church, and school alike. All is misrule. Equality and freedom are not luxuries to lightly cast aside. Without them, order cannot long endure before approaching depths beyond imagining. And so then he's taking her down somewhere, and she's like, wait a minute, haven't we been here before? Like, what the fuck is all this shit? And we get this, like, phone call. Hello, this is London, blah, blah, blah. Eric Finch speaking. I'm not at the moment, but if you leave, blah, blah. He's like, hello, this is Dominic again. Listen, just get in touch, please. There's problems with Mr. Susan and Mr. Creedy, and I can't say anything on the phone. It's all going to bits, Mr. Finch. I don't know what I should do. And it's like the answer machine or whatever. He's talking to this answer machine. He's like, well, I suppose that's all. Goodbye. Take care. And then Evie's like, V, come on. Like, what are you waiting for? Give me an answer. Where the fuck are we? And he's like, this is my secret love nest, Evie. I'm taking you to meet my mistress. Your what? It is a tangled and unhappy tale of hearts betrayed and loyalties misplaced. It was not I that strayed. My love was justice. And infatuated with her truth and loneliness and loveliness, I worshipped her. Until, behind my back, she took up with a man who violated and abused her. Someone fierce and brutal with burned children on his breath. He changed her. She acquired a taste for leather, chains, and whips. The justice that I loved was gone. Who had such kindly eyes, who took such small and careful steps. Transformed, she glared through narrow slits and ground good men beneath her vicious heel. Imagine when I learned of her affair. My anger and my shame to think how they've made mock of all that I loved, my justice and her bestial swain, cavorting in their blood-stained sheets. Still, all in love and war is fair, they say. This being both, and turnabout's fair play. Though I must bear a cuckold's horns, they're not a crown that I shall bear alone. You see, my rival, though inclined to roam, possessed at home a wife that he adored. He'll rue his promiscuity, the rogue who stole my only love, when he's informed how many years it is since first I bedded his. And then V is literally sitting at the goddamn fucking Fate Machine computer. I don't know if this is like an exact replica or if this is like the actual machine and the shit that they have and the other thing is just like a facade. Like it's just like he's been clearly controlling the whole thing forever.
I don't know which one it is. I think there are two operating machines and he's got his own version, but the one he has is manipulating or allowed him to do that weird I love you message to Adam Susan.
And so then we get into chapter 3, Various Valentines. And basically we get, they're at the nose and someone's been leaving these fucking like love notes all around. And they're just like, man, I don't know who the fuck's been dropping these off. Like, oh, well, whatever. Goodbye, and then he leaves, and then we get V setting up some dominoes, a panel of that, and we we go back to we have the Norse Fire thugs been given the little fucking N armband, and we got the alley about you're going to protest against the shootings. And he's basically just like. Oh, yeah, he's like, I got all this raping and pillaging to do, and now that I'm the lawman around here, so...
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. And so, basically...
Mr. Creedy just tells him, he's like, you boys are doing a damn good fucking job. You keep it up. We might have prospects for you in the future.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm getting at, brother.
You catch my drift, brother. And so then we go see V again, setting up more dominoes. And then we go back to fucking Allie is now talking about how he's meeting with
Mrs. Etheridge.
Yeah. And so they're going on about fucking how he's like, oh, you're the one that's running the eye, right? And then she's like, yep, and you're the asshole that's running the civilian auxiliary force. And I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about any of that. And then she basically says, like, listen, don't play stupid. This is a decision you got to make. Creedy wants to be leader. I want Conrad to be leader. How much is he paying you? And he's like, well, I'm getting $500, at the present. Really? I'd have thought $400 maximum. I'm prepared to offer $6, plus an increase upon your thug's current wages. You don't piss a boot. I was like, oh, is he Canadian now all of a sudden? Like,
yeah, don't piss a boot, do you?
Yeah, and she's like, well, he's like, what's my job? And she's like, you carry on working for Creedy, drawing his wages, but reporting to me. And when the time comes, you remember who you're really working for. And he's like, look, I'm no aggravating the police. Creedy's running the finger. Harper, do as I say. Or she tells him, hey, you do as I say, and you'll be running the goddamn finger. Don't worry about Creedy. He is in a hazardous occupation.
With a fucking dead bird or...
Yeah, like just in the lake or wherever the fuck that is. Yeah. Look what happened to his predecessor. And he's like, oh, yeah. V's continue to set up the fucking things. And then we go back to Miss Almond, or the former Mrs. Almond, dancing in the fucking club. And she's just having like this flashback shit talking about how like... I can't sleep, like you're gone, like you joined this you were working at the goddamn bank.
I'm showing my rear end to make ends meet.
Yeah, I literally have to show my butthole to fucking dudes to get money. And she's like, you're dead, I can't sleep. She's like, man, like, who did this to me? I can't sleep because I want justice, wanting all the world to know of its unfairness. I can't sleep for the gun beneath my pillow. And then V's still setting up those dominoes. Here's all the dominoes getting set up, right?
Yep, and everybody's in their fucking place, set up for a photo finish.
And so then we get to fucking, what's his name?
Mr. Finch.
He's outside in the Lark Hill resettlement camp. The old fucking, that's where he's been fucking about to.
Yeah, and he was reminiscing about his relationship with Delia, the scientist or person experimenting out on people at Lark Hill. She's like, man, fuck, like I knew you for 10 years, or we were together and everything was fucking great, and I knew you. I didn't know anything about this goddamn Lark Hill bullshit that you were part of. Like, fuck, man. He's like, well, if this is where it started, this is where it's gonna end. So now he's going back to Lark Hill to get some answers.
Yep. And V continuing to set the dominoes as this is all part of his fucking plan. And then we get V, you're almost finished, aren't you? And he's like, yes, the pieces are set out before me, perfectly aligned, complete. One may at last grasp their design, their grand significance, but almost finished? Yes. Yes, I suppose I am. Though recognition's been delayed by its circuitous construction, now the pattern long concealed emerges into view. Is it not fine? Is it not simple and elegant and severe? How strange after the long, exacting toil of preparation that it takes only the slightest effort and less thought to start this brief, elaborate amusement on its breathless, hurtling race. The merest touch no more, and everything falls into place. The pieces can't perceive as weave the mischief their arrangement tempts. Those stolid, law-abiding cues, so pregnant with catastrophe, insensible before the wave, so soon released by callous fate, affected most, they understand the least.
My motherfucking God,
Jesus Christ.
That is dense as fuck, dude.
Dense as fuck, man. There's like just so much fucking shit right there that he says.
It's like, God damn it, motherfucker, speak English. He's like, I am. I'm speaking old Shakespearean English.
Old Shakespearean English, you son of a bitch. The original English. But basically, like, what he's saying is that, like, he sums it up with that thing at the end. Those affected the most understand this shit the least. So all the pieces can't even see this whole fucking thing for what it is, which is how he's able to do this, because each individual piece doesn't see the bigger picture.
Which is funny, because when you think about when he was at Lark Hill and when he was making those weird patterns in the ground, it turned out to be explosives.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, oh man, there's something going on here, but we don't know what.
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
And it turns out he
blows up the whole thing. Yeah. And so basically we see them. What was this guy's? This guy's.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. There's too many.
Dominic, I think.
Dominic,
is his name.
Yeah. And basically, he's running to go to speak to the leader, and then we got this fucking
Heil Hitler guy.
Heil Hitler, Jawohl, helmet.
England prevails.
Yeah, England prevails.
Yeah. England prevails.
Yeah, and V says, your pretty empire took so long to build. Now with a snap of history's finger, down it goes, and he's about to snap the domino down, and then he's like, leader, the terrorist. I figured out how he's doing it. He knows everything about us and everything. We got all these fucking poems that are going in and out. He's like, leader, he got us delivering the leaflets for him, goddammit. Like, what the hell? He's causing these blackouts in everywhere, these food riots. He's got access to fate. He's had access to fate since the beginning. That's how he, and he's like, leader, what's... And the leader is literally sitting there staring at the fucking computer screen, and it's got the fucking V symbol on there.
Bitch ass got played.
And and then V dumps over the first domino, and then that's the fucking end of the issue.
He's like, God damn it, I'm gay.
He's like, oh fuck, I was gay all along. Damn.
I was coveting this cold machine that I thought was a woman. It turns out it was V all along.
Turns out it was fucking V all along. He's like, damn it, I've been in love with a man. He's like, great, now I got to go to concentration camp.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I mean, they kind of brought it up multiple times when he's like saying "I love you" to himself, and they're like, "What the hell did you say?" He's like, "Nothing."
Yeah. Don't mind me.
England prevails.
England prevails. So, man, there's only a couple issues of this left. So, it's the end game is starting to fucking be played out.
It is cooler because I always had these questions about wrestling.
Yeah.
About how wrestlers are so techno savvy since they're fucking meatheads. But V is demonstrating his techno savviness by having another goddamn fate machine in his headquarters or his base of operations and manipulating it. It's like, okay, that makes more sense than a fucking wrestler.
I don't know, man. Maybe V is a wrestler.
It's possible. I mean, he does cut some fucking mean promos.
Yeah. W for wrestling. Anyways. All right, well, shit. Stay tuned for the next one when we do V for Vendetta number 9. But until then, if you want to listen to more of our stuff, you can go to YouTube at Game Rage Magazine. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, if you like anime, you can go follow our good buddy Frank on Instagram at anime_syndicate_podcast. And if you want, follow Adam too if you want to listen to some fun stuff about music. If you want to listen to some Oracle fucking shit go down, listen to All Gas No Trash and follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on
Fuck me
Instagram.
to do that fucking alley guy. Fucking UK think they know English better than us.
Fuck them.
We perfected that shit.
They may have invented. See, we are just like the WWE. They may have invented it, but we did it better. We stole it and did it better. All right.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah, America.
Fuck yeah.
Anyways, all right. You got anything else to add?
Game rage prevails.
Game rage prevails, indeed. All right. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.